Imagine if a single phrase, spoken with conviction, could echo inside someone's mind until they cannot escape the thought of you. Imagine words so powerful, they weave into the fabric of another's heart. Today you'll discover how to awaken that power. There are forces in this universe that most people overlook. They believe thoughts are invisible, that words vanish the moment they are spoken. But here is the secret. Words are energy, and energy never disappears. It transforms, it lingers, it connects. When you understand this, you realize that every word you repeat with focus becomes a seed planted inside another person's consciousness. That is why chanting is not superstition, but strategy. It is the art of impressing your desire upon the mind of another until it becomes their own thought. Now think about this. How many times do you find yourself thinking about someone without even knowing why? You could be in the middle of work, reading a book, or lying down at night, and suddenly their face appears in your mind. It is not always random. Often it is because that person has planted themselves in the soil of your subconscious. They have projected their energy into your space without you even realizing it. Today I want to hand you the same key. If you chant this phrase 21 times, not once, not twice, but exactly 21 times, it has the power to enter the deepest layers of someone's thoughts until they cannot go through a single day without feeling your presence. But before I share how to chant, understand this: the power does not lie in the words alone, but in the belief behind them. If you chant with doubt, you create nothing but noise. If you chant with certainty, you awaken invisible currents that bridge your mind with theirs. You must carry the emotional fire, as though what you desire is already true. That fire is the magnet. That certainty is what forces them to think of you even when they try not to. Picture yourself at night, alone in your room. The world is quiet, the distractions fade, and your mind becomes still. This is the sacred hour when your words have the most power. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and see the person you desire as though they are standing in front of you. Feel the warmth of their presence, the intensity of their gaze. Hold that image as vividly as possible, and then begin to chant the phrase, not loudly, not desperately, but with calm assurance. Whisper it if you like, breathe it if you must, but repeat it slowly and rhythmically, 21 times. Why 21 times? Because repetition is what programs the subconscious mind. The conscious mind may doubt, but the subconscious absorbs. And when you impress your words upon the subconscious, both yours and theirs, you are planting a signal that cannot be ignored. 21 repetitions create a loop so strong it circles through their thoughts like a song they cannot stop replaying. Think about it. When you hear a melody enough times, it stays with you for days. Words are melodies too. A chant is simply a song of intention, and you are the singer of destiny. Now listen carefully. As you chant, do not beg, do not plead, do not think of yourself as someone hoping to be remembered. No, stand as someone who already knows they are unforgettable. Carry the confidence that your presence is undeniable. This state of mind is crucial, because it is not the needy heart that attracts. It is the certain one. When you chant from certainty, you are declaring to the universe and to their spirit that they cannot let you go. You are not asking, you are commanding reality to align with your desire. Imagine their mind like a clear pond. Every word you chant is a pebble dropped into that pond, creating ripples that spread outward. One ripple may fade, but 21 ripples create a wave strong enough to touch the very edges of their thoughts. Soon they find themselves recalling your smile, your voice, the energy you bring. They may not even understand why, but they cannot escape it. You have become unforgettable, not through force, but through the subtle power of energy impressed upon them. But let me tell you this, the chant works best when your intention is pure. If you chant out of desperation, you create tension that blocks the flow. If you chant with calm desire, knowing you are worthy of love and connection, the flow is natural, unstoppable. So ask yourself before you begin, what do I want them to feel when they think of me? Do I want them to feel warmth, longing, admiration? Let your chant carry that energy. Let each repetition be infused with the emotion you want them to experience. Because words without emotion are empty. but words with feeling become irresistible. Now you might wonder, does it matter when I chant? Yes, the most powerful times are just before sleep and just after waking. Why? Because at those times, your mind is closest to the subconscious state. The walls of resistance are thin, and the seeds you plant fall directly into the fertile soil of imagination. If you chant at night, their spirit receives it while they dream. If you chant in the morning, your energy follows them throughout the day. Either way, you have marked their thoughts with your presence. Understand this truth. You are not forcing them to think of you. You are awakening what already exists. Deep down, every human being longs for connection. Your chant does not create something unnatural. It simply amplifies the bond that is already there. It reminds their soul of what it cannot forget. You, and the more you repeat it, the more natural it becomes for them to feel your presence without reason. That is the beauty of chanting. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to the heart. Let me remind you, do not underestimate the simplicity of this. The world teaches you that power must be complicated, that influence requires struggle. But in reality, true power is always simple. A phrase repeated 21 times with faith can do more than 1,000 forced actions. While others chase, while others beg, you sit still, speak your words, and let your energy do the work. That is elegance. That is mastery. So tonight, when the world is silent, try it for yourself. Choose the phrase that aligns with your desire. Speak it with certainty. See their face, feel their presence, and chant it 21 times. Do not rush. Do not doubt. Let each repetition sink deeper until you feel the energy surround you. And then, let it go. Trust that the seed has been planted. Trust that the universe will water it. Trust that their thoughts will find you again and again until they cannot escape the pull of your presence. Remember this, it is not about control. It is about connection. It is not about chasing. It is about attracting. The chant is simply the bridge, and once built, they will cross it in their own time, in their own way. All you must do is remain centered, confident, and faithful to the process. For the one who chants with certainty becomes unforgettable. And when you understand this power, you will never again wonder if someone is thinking of you. You will know they cannot stop. So chant this 21 times. Carry the energy of being unforgettable. And watch as the world bends quietly, silently, mysteriously, until the person you desire finds themselves unable to turn away from the thought of you. When you repeat words with conviction, you awaken a force that is not visible to the eye, but deeply felt by the heart. A phrase spoken once may fade, but a phrase spoken with certainty becomes like a drumbeat in the soul. Each repetition creates a pulse of energy that moves through space and attaches itself to the person you are thinking of. This is not about superstition. It is about understanding that words carry vibration. When those vibrations are filled with belief, they magnetize thoughts and memories. People begin to feel your presence without realizing why. The chant becomes a thread tying your spirit to theirs, unbreakable and undeniable. It is not your physical actions that make you unforgettable, but the energy of words spoken with faith. To chant is to declare that your energy belongs in their mind. To repeat is to engrave yourself upon the walls of their thoughts. And when you do this with unwavering confidence, they will be unable to ignore your essence. The act of chanting 21 times is not random. It is rhythm. It is design. 21 repetitions push your desire past the surface of the mind and into its depths. It is like striking a bell again and again until the sound lingers even when you stop. At first, the conscious mind may dismiss it, but with each repetition, resistance crumbles. By the 21st chant, the idea has sunk into the subconscious, both yours and theirs. It loops in their inner world the same way a melody stays stuck in your head after hearing it often. That number creates a cycle strong enough to imprint memory, yet gentle enough to flow without force. Each chant is a knock at the door of their thoughts, and eventually the door opens. They will find themselves remembering you in moments they cannot explain. The chant becomes a rhythm they cannot silence, because the seed has been planted too deeply. The subconscious mind does not argue. It accepts, Unlike the conscious mind, which questions, doubts, and resists, the subconscious absorbs repetition, like soil receiving water. This is why logic fails to make people think of you, but chanting succeeds. Logic appeals to reason, while repetition appeals to memory. When you chant with focus, you bypass the noise of the conscious mind and speak directly to the subconscious, which governs emotions, habits, and desires. And once an idea reaches that level, it is no longer a possibility. It becomes reality. The person you think of cannot fight it, because their subconscious is stronger than their surface thoughts. Your chant embeds itself like a soft echo in their inner world, repeating itself even when you are silent. The subconscious does not forget easily. It carries impressions like footprints in wet cement. This is why repeating your chant matters. It is not to convince yourself, but to program the invisible force that binds minds together. When you chant, the power multiplies if you can see the person in your imagination. Visualization is fuel for your words. To speak without a picture is to whisper into the wind, but to speak with a vivid image is to direct your energy like a laser. See their face clearly, as though they are in the room with you. Notice their eyes, their smile, the way they stand. Feel their presence so strongly that your body reacts as though they are truly there. Now as you chant, it is not just words leaving your lips, it is emotion attached to a living image. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. When you hold their image and chant, the subconscious receives it as truth. Soon they will sense your energy pulling at them. They will feel drawn without understanding why, because you have already met them in the invisible realm of thought. Words alone are not enough. It is the feeling behind them that breathes life into them. Chanting without emotion is like planting seeds in dry soil. Nothing will grow. But when you chant with passion, with longing, with certainty, the words become alive. Each repetition then carries a spark of energy into the unseen. Think of how songs stay with you, not because of the lyrics alone, but because of the emotion behind them. Your chant must work the same way. As you whisper those words, infuse them with love, with desire, with assurance that you are unforgettable. The feeling transforms ordinary words into irresistible forces. And when you feel it, they will feel it too, because energy never lies. The stronger your emotion, the stronger the connection, until your presence becomes embedded in their heart like fire that refuses to be extinguished. The timing of chanting makes all the difference. Just before sleep and right after waking are sacred moments when the mind is open. At night, when the world is silent, your mind slips into a state where thoughts flow directly to the subconscious. This is when your chant becomes most effective, like writing on a blank page. As you drift into sleep, your words carry themselves into dreams, not only yours, but also theirs. In the morning, when the first light touches your thoughts, the subconscious is still tender, still absorbing. To chant then is to set the tone for the day, to project your energy ahead of you. These two moments are bridges between the physical and the unseen. If you plant your chant then, the soil of the subconscious is fertile, and what you desire takes root more easily. Timing turns words into destiny. Confidence is the key that unlocks attraction. Desperation, on the other hand, pushes away what you desire. When you chant from a needy place, you are declaring lack, and lack creates resistance. But when you chant from certainty, you radiate abundance. You say with your energy, I am unforgettable. I am already within their thoughts. And the universe mirrors that certainty back to you. People feel energy, even if they cannot name it. Desperation makes them uneasy, but confidence draws them closer. This is why your state of mind matters as much as your words. Chant not as someone who hopes, but as someone who knows. That knowingness is magnetic, and when you carry it in your words, they will feel it without you speaking directly to them. Every chant you speak is like a pebble dropped into water, creating ripples that expand outward. One ripple may vanish quickly, but with each repetition, the ripples grow stronger. 21 repetitions turn ripples into waves that cannot be ignored. These waves reach into their mind, touching memories, stirring feelings, pulling their focus toward you. At first, it may be subtle. They may simply think of you once or twice. But as the waves grow, you become a constant presence in their thoughts. Just as a river shapes the rocks it flows over, your chant shapes the way they perceive you. It is not an instant storm, but a steady tide that grows stronger with time. The waves of your words are invisible, but their effects are undeniable. When you have finished chanting, you must release it. Holding on too tightly only blocks the energy from flowing. Plant the seed with your 21 repetitions, then trust it will grow. Just as a farmer does not dig up the soil every day to check on the seed, you must not cling in desperation. Release is faith in action. It says, I have spoken it into existence. Now I allow it to manifest. The universe responds to trust, not to worry. When you let go, the energy travels freely to the person you desire. Soon their thoughts begin to circle back to you, and they themselves may not know why. Trust the process. Release is not giving up. It is letting the chant breathe and do its work without interference. Mastery of words is mastery of influence. Those who understand how to impress thoughts upon the mind can move hearts without force. Words are not empty. They are the architects of reality. A single phrase, repeated with conviction, can bend the direction of another's thoughts. This is not control. It is alignment. When you chant with focus, you are not manipulating. You are awakening. You are awakening the connection that already exists between you and them. To master chanting is to step into the invisible realm of influence where few dare to go. It is the art of silent persuasion, the ability to remain unforgettable without even being present. The one who wields this power wisely never needs to chase, because the world is already drawn to them.